Hi, and welcome to another monthly money reset. I'm so excited. It is Saturday morning that I'm filming this. I got up early this morning, but I feel like I've had such a productive morning. Like I woke up, I went straight outside and just took in the sun. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts that say that is really good practice to just like take in the sun at the beginning of the day, reset your circadian rhythm, and just a really good way to wake up, which is so good for me because I am not a morning person usually. Also, I did my hair and I'm sitting down and I'm talking to you. So it has just been such a productive morning. I know that I'm gonna feel so good today, knowing that I set up my budget, knowing that I had this really productive morning. And so if I wanna do fun, unproductive things later today, then I won't feel guilty at all. So absolutely wonderful. If you're new to these videos, then hi. I'm Kayla, I'm 26, and I'm currently working as a travel physical therapist, and I'm working in Arizona right now, but I'm going home soon. I just love posting about all things personal finance, which is why we have videos like this. And I also love posting about intentional happiness. I love posting about intentional happiness on my channel and how I try to lead a really happy life. And I do feel like a big part of that is knowing where my money goes. So yeah, it's important that I budget. And honestly, if I'm gonna be real with you, I'm kind of new to budgeting. I'm new to being consistent with budgeting, at least. I've had my channel for 8 or 9 months now. And before that, I was really inconsistent with my budget. So I'd do it 1 month and then I wouldn't do it another month. Or I'd start it 1 month and then I wouldn't really follow up with it. And I think that's just because it can seem so overwhelming and daunting to track your expenses throughout the month and to even get a budget set up and try to figure out where your money's going. Like, it's a big task. And I feel like maybe it wouldn't have felt so daunting to me if I had someone to sit down and chat about it with. We're so weird about money and it's just so unnecessary. Like, let's just be transparent and help each other. So I make these videos to take the weirdness out of budgeting, to make it a casual environment. And I would love to be just your budget bestie and set our budgets up together at the beginning of the month. This is my flyer out to be that for you. Anyways, schedule for the day, or for the next 20 minutes or so at least, is to break down my February budget, see where I spent my money, go ahead and reflect on the month and set some goals moving into March, and then set up my March budget, which I just talked to you so much about how I like budgeting and it's a fun thing, which was not a lie, 100% the truth. But I will say that what I do not like is uncertainty. In March, there's gonna be a lot of uncertainty for me. I'm only working for like 2.5 weeks. I don't know what I'm gonna make in that half week. I'm going back home in March, which is Virginia for me, so 33-hour road trip. So I don't know what my like grocery spending is gonna look like. So anyways, there's a lot of uncertainty around March, but we're gonna do the fun part right now and talk about what I spent in February. All right, so I've got February open on my computer. We are looking at the month here. Looking at the overview tab is already exciting me because we don't have any red bars, which means I didn't go over in any category. I didn't make less money than I thought I would make, so that is setting us up nicely. And then looking at income, all my paychecks were about what I expected. They vary just a little bit based on mileage because my job pays me for my mileage. So other than that, they're what I expected. I used to have one light paycheck almost every month because I would make sure that one Friday in the month I took off. But since I started this new job, it's actually been really amazing because I've been able to just get all my work done on Monday through Thursday, which isn't always possible with a physical therapy job. And then on Fridays, I just don't have any patients and I can be off, but I have guaranteed hours, so I don't have to actually have that light paycheck because I still get paid for the Friday that I'm off. So it has been absolutely wonderful. But I will say that even if I didn't have that, and going into other jobs, if I don't get that, I will still take a Friday off and like take a light paycheck. I feel like my time is so much more valuable than my money, and being able to look forward to that Friday and knowing that I'm going to get a break during the work week is priceless to me. So even if they weren't paying me to be off, I would still take off. Don't tell them that. Okay. And then, income, my car sinking fund. So it says that I made, like $9,700 this month, but really my income was closer to $8,500. And then my $1,250 I had to take out of my car sinking fund. You name it, my car got it this month, okay? She is living the absolute life. A new power steering pump, a new caliper for my brake, a new battery. The mechanic was like ready to give me my car back and the battery died. And I'm like, what the heck? And I think something with my radiator or something. Okay, so I put like $2,000 into my car this month. So thank goodness for sinking funds. And I feel like people talk about pets and they're like, having a pet is like having a child. Financially, having this used car is like having a child. I feel like I just gave some money to my child's like tuition or something. But anyways, that is my income and expenses. I love talking about my expenses, and now I just get to like talk about my month in numbers. But groceries were a little light. I didn't spend the $5.50, and eating out for the first time in forever. I'm not over budget in eating out, which is such a big accomplishment for me. I've shared this before, but Devin, my fiance, is really in charge of eating out for us. So there's no reason for me to be spending more than $50 eating out. Like if I'm spending more than that, it's because I am doing some emotional spending or because I did a horrible job of prepping for the day and I didn't make my lunch. And I'm just like, Kayla, you do not need to be over in this category. I think this is the first month since I've started this contract that I've not been over in the eating out category. So excited about that. Gas was $150, and then health and beauty. I spent a ton of money on health and beauty this month. Social, oh my gosh. I went out. I had 2 friend hangouts this month, which is such a big accomplishment for me. Making friends in your 20s or making friends as an adult is just such a hard thing to do. And so my social category is probably the only category where I try to make sure that I'm spending all my money every month. And not to say that you have to be spending money to hang out with friends, but just the nature of my lifestyle, I feel like, and moving cities every 3 or 4 months is if I'm wanting to have in-person interaction with friends, they're new friends. And I feel like that's kind of what you end up doing with new friends. Like it's just more common to go out to lunch or dinner or something. But anyways, no, I had 2 friend hangouts and that amounted to $45. Not mad about that at all. So I'm proud of me for trying to make friends as an adult. Gifts. Oh, it was Valentine's Day this month and really didn't spend too much money gifts wise on Valentine's Day, but I also had my mom's birthday and my little brother's birthday. They're 4 days apart, their birthdays. Insane. I used to ask her when I was younger, I was like, why didn't you just have a baby on your birthday? And she'd be like, I did not want to be pregnant on my birthday. And especially now getting older, that makes total sense. I also would not want to be pregnant on my birthday. And doodad spending. I was so close to spending almost 0 money on doodads this month. I'm going to show you. So if I search doodads. Okay. So my first spend, like when the credit card charge came, was $226. But I really did not spend any money till right at the end of the month. Devin and I went to the rodeo. Let me also fix this view and go back up to the top. Okay, anyways, Devin and I went to the rodeo because the Tucson rodeo was in town. First of all, let's just say that I've never been to a rodeo and I didn't know that this is silly, but like I didn't know that rodeos were real. I think that I thought that rodeos were like how they had gladiators in Roman times and we don't have gladiators anymore. I just thought we didn't have rodeos anymore. But I think that's just me being ignorant and being from Virginia. I mean, we don't have rodeos in Virginia. And so I just thought we didn't have rodeos. But no, there are rodeos. Absolutely. They're alive and well. The rodeos are okay. They're real, if you were wondering. Really cool experience. I love doing new things in the cities that I go to and feeling like I had an experience that was unique to that city. And that's been kind of my theme recently. I'm realizing that I regret spending a lot less when it is on experiences versus just accumulating things. And I'm someone who loves doing new things in life and just find a lot of fulfillment from that. So the rodeo was definitely money well spent. Okay, what else did I spend money on? Miscellaneous spending. Oh, almost all of that is just my car. It was like $2K or so. So that's where my miscellaneous spending went into. And then vacation. Devin and I on Valentine's Day, I said I didn't spend a lot of money on the gift, but what we did do was go to Phoenix. And so the gas and the hotel there, I just split with him. And so that's the money for vacation. Those are my expenses. And then subs and bills. Nothing too new except for that last month I reallocated Devin and I reallocated like $300 or $400 of subscriptions that I was paying for onto him. So my subscriptions and bill spending is definitely down. So that's wonderful. But otherwise nothing new. You know, my student loan is still gouging me. I still have very expensive rent with this furnished housing. And also this year, at some point this year, I'm probably gonna have to start paying for private health insurance, which is astronomical in price. It is absolutely ridiculous. I hate being 26 and not being able to be on my parents' insurance. It is trash, it is for the birds. And why does the government care? Why do they care if my parents would like to help me? Someone in the higher ups of the government need to listen to Mel Robbins. And if my parents would like to help me financially, let them help me. What is the problem? On to savings. I want to be in my savings bag this year. Like, I just want to save and invest and save and invest and keep that money for me and not spend it. So I've been trying to do a really good job of that. Also, I know that I'm coming up on a time where I won't be able to save literally anything. So the second half of March where I'm not working in April, and then maybe part of May. I think that there's just kind of like a mad rush right now while I am making money to put all of it away as much as possible. So anyways, I put $1,000 into Devin and I's joint account. I saved $1,250 into my long-term, $300 to my Roth IRA, $1,000 for my car sinking fund, and just trying to like replenish what I took from it. $500 for my time off sinking fund because I do need money when I'm not working. $2,000 for Devin and I's Panama trip, and then $860 into my emergency fund. I've talked about before that like any sales I get from my budget right now, I just put straight into my emergency fund. And so I sold one sale of my budget on Etsy this month. Love that for me. Yeah, and then that's February. Oh my gosh, I feel like that was really quick, but that is the month of February. This is the breakdown. When I look at income versus subs and bills, expenses and savings, and where all my money went, savings, the chunk of savings is huge, but it's kind of an inflation because I started the month with $3,000 in my account. So I immediately was like, let's put as much of that into savings as possible because that's way too much to have in my checkings. Now I'll take some time to kind of reflect on the month and then look at my goals before we jump into the March budget. All right, as far as reflecting on February goes, I feel like I don't have, not many notes. No notes for her. I think that February was a really good month. I stuck to my budget really well, and I did it all while not getting this feeling of deprivation. I remember that when I was living in Hawaii, I had a month that was like almost perfection, just meaning I didn't go over on very many categories. I was really low on my doodad spending. And I was just like, I never want to have another month like this. I think really big differences between this month and that month in Hawaii. One, I'm just making more money. I also didn't have very many social connections in Hawaii. I didn't really have friends to hang out with. And I think my work-life balance there was nowhere near as good as it is now. All of that made a really huge difference for just enjoying my month, even without going over budget. So February was really good. I would not mind having another month like February and March. But breaking down my goals, I still have my computer here with me because I think that as far as goals go for these resets, I'm just gonna keep looking at the yearly goals that I made for myself and checking in on them and seeing if I'm sticking to them from month to month. So that way I don't just forget about them. I did invest $300 in my Roth IRA. My goal at the beginning of the year was to do at least $100. And then last month I talked about like the sneaky goal that I made for myself to try to do maybe $300 a month because that would get me halfway to maxing out my Roth. And so that's kind of been my background goal, trying to do $300 a month, but I'm also not upset if I don't make it to $300. I just want to make sure I'm putting something in there every month because last year I really contributed like nothing to it. Oh, and I made a new goal just last night. I was looking at my investment portfolio. I use Schwab to invest my money, and they have an area where you can tell how much growth your portfolio had over the last year, how much money you put into it. And I was looking at it, and I only invested $8,000 last year. And I hate to put the word only in front of that because I don't know, I feel like it sounds a little bit pompous or like not being appreciative that I was able to invest $8,000. I am. That is such a privilege to have the money to be able to do that. But that being said, I make like $8,000 a month when I'm working. So to think that I only put like a month's worth of income into my investment accounts, I was not happy with that at all. So now if I have any extra money after budgeting for expenses and my subscriptions and bills and all the normal savings, I want to be putting the rest of it into investments. And I did the math. And if I invest $1,500 a month for all of the months that I am going to work this year, then I could save $13,000. So that is going to be the new goal that I added for the year. Invest $13,000. And what that means, breaking it down into like bite-sized achievable parts, is that each month that I am working, I need to be investing about $1,500, almost say $15,000, which would be insane. And I have been really good about saving consistently into my sinking funds, and I have been saving to buy this home this year. I do feel like after going over my goals, my reflection was pretty on point. I did a nice job managing my money in February, and my goals reflect that because I was able to stay on track with all of them throughout the month. So that is wonderful. Okay, I have put it off as long as I possibly could. I just don't know what March is gonna look like, but I guess that is the point in budgeting, figuring out what March is gonna look like. So without further ado, let's set up my budget for March. Welcome to March. we are dealing with a blank slate. I've kind of set it up partially already, but like I put in how much money I'm bringing over from last month, 781.11. And then I think what I'm going to start putting in my budgeted start balance is whatever I started the year with, because I'm trying to be close to a zero-based budgeter. Like I want every amount of money that I bring in to be accounted for. And I started the year with this exact number in my checkings account. So, okay, going down to income. Income this month is gonna be a little bit irregular. Each paycheck I usually budget $20.27 if I'm going to be working a full 40 hours. But as I said, for my last paycheck, I'm only working 3 days out of that week. So I don't know what pay is gonna look like for that week. I really have no idea. I'm gonna just put $1,200 and hope that it's more than that. And then miscellaneous. Oh yeah, we should be getting our security deposit back for this place. I think that if everything went right, we would get back $250, but landlords always find something to take off. So I'm just gonna budget $175. And then my emergency fund. I am taking money out of my emergency fund this month. I don't have a specific sinking fund for this, but I'm gonna do it. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. I'm going to buy myself a camera this month. I think I need to commit to it, but it's happening because I'm putting it in the budget. I think I want to buy the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I initially wanted to get the Sony ZV-E1 camera, but I think that camera in itself is close to $1,000, and then you have to buy a lens. I have wanted a camera to be recording my videos for so long, and it's not because of quality. Like there's not a huge issue with the quality from my iPhone. I think it's fine, but not being able to have my iPhone when I'm trying to record is a huge hindrance, especially if I'm doing like a vlog or something. I have way too much space on my phone, and I will just set that thing up and literally record 40 minutes of my life and just cut it later. So anyways, that is the long story of why I would like to get a camera. So I'm gonna do it this month, and I'm gonna take $450 out of my emergency fund to do so. It's so funny because I feel like having sinking funds, even though this isn't coming out of my sinking fund, but it's kind of like that because I'm gonna replenish it. Having sinking funds, I feel like it's just having your own self-made layaway, or like having a credit card where you pay yourself back. Because I know I'm using this $450 out of my emergency fund now to get this camera, but now I will just have in the back of my head that I need to put $450 back into my emergency fund and kind of pay that back over a couple months. So I feel like it's just like a self layaway. So that is income for the month. That's all the sources I am expecting. Okay, and then expenses. These are also gonna be a little abnormal for the month. I'm gonna still put $550 for groceries. Sometimes my grocery spend is a little bit less when I go home because my mom will make me dinner sometimes, but I also think that I'll be at Devin's house for a good amount of the time. So I'm just gonna budget $550, and I shouldn't go over that. I'll do a little bit more for eating out because we have the long 33-hour drive from Arizona all the way back to Virginia this month. And on that drive, we are planning for it to be about 3 days, and we'll stop 2 or 3 different times. I don't know. We've done all the planning, but we will be just having the fastest of food, so much eating out. So I'm just gonna budget a little bit more for that. I'll do $150 for gas, and then health and beauty. I think my thought with health and beauty is that I'll usually budget about $100 a month for it. I think I'm gonna braid my hair this month. I still haven't decided if I want to pay someone to do it, because paying to get my hair braided would be about $200, but if I do it myself, I'll just have to pay for the hair, which I'm thinking maybe $60 or $70. And I would just love to pay somebody to do it. It is such a daunting task to be sitting and braiding my hair for 8 or 9 hours out of the day. But each time I go to think of paying someone, I'm just like, am I really gonna give an extra $130 to someone for something I can do myself? And each time I'm in the middle of braiding, I'm like, Kayla, why didn't you pay someone? Anyways, right now the plan is to braid it myself. So $170 for health and beauty. I'll do the normal $50 for social. And I might regret this, but I don't think I have to spend any money on gifts, so I'm not gonna budget anything for that. Doodads, I'm gonna say my normal is like usually $250. So because I know I'm getting the camera this month, I'll just say $150. So I don't have to do as much spending for myself. And then the $650 for the camera. So that is $800. And then I made a note for myself on miscellaneous that I'll do my typical $150 because miscellaneous things are always gonna pop up throughout the month. And then maybe $60 for my tire rotation and oil change. And then what I forgot to make a note about is that I have to pay for my car's registration. So that's $75 because I did 2 years. And the math on that is $285. Okay. And then for travel PT, I've got to ship my car back, so I will do $1,300. And then I like to get rid of these boxes that I'm not using. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, for subs and bills, I'm just gonna copy over what I had for February and then make any necessary changes. So that 15 is actually supposed to be for Canva. And then for some reason, CapCut it came out too late in February. It was like, I think it was on the 28th that it came out. It was supposed to be the 21st. And so I didn't have time to make that payment. So it's gonna be $9.99 plus $9.99 because I'll have to pay for February and March. And then rent is only gonna be $600 this month. $600. Because we'll only be here for half the time. So let's see how much money that leaves me with. About $4,000 left to save, or maybe $3,500 because I'm gonna keep like $500 in my account. So I'll do my $1,000 for the joint account. And then I said I wanted to do $1,500 in investments. So $1,200 to my long-term, $300 to my Roth should be good. I will keep replenishing my car sinking fund and put another $500 in there, and maybe $300 for Panama. And then that gives me $636 left to spend. I don't mind taking it all the way to $500. I feel like if I've already saved an extra $100 to my long-term account into investments, then I will do another extra $100 for the house fund. Okay. Wonderful. As always, thanks for hanging out with me and doing my budget with me. I mean, I really just love making these videos, and I'm so appreciative to each and every one of you who are watching. And I meant to talk about this when I talked about the camera. Oh my goodness. Another really big reason that I'm okay with getting myself this camera is because I hit 1,000 subscribers this month, which is insane. It's so unbelievable. Like the idea of hitting 1,000, it just never felt like something that was going to be real when I started this account 8 months ago, and I just had my 30 friends and family following me. And so thank you. Thank you so much. I always say thanks for watching at the end of the video, but I just feel like there needs to be an extra thank you. I have wanted to create content for so long, and so to be going after this dream and then also this big fear of mine is scary, but really rewarding, and you watching right now are making it possible for me. And like I said, that's a big reason I'm gonna go ahead and allow myself to get this camera this month, because I'm like, Kayla, you had a big goal. We should celebrate it in some way. So ending this video off now, as I always do, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon in another video. Bye.